Hi guys, you have the brothers-in-law. Is it brothers-in-law or brother-in-laws?
Okay, so we're...
The brethren-in-law.
No.
Is that it?
Okay, you got Chandler and Robert.
You got Chandler and Robert here.
Today, we are in one of our little checkup rooms, doing a checkup of some very, very adorable animals.
They are so cute.
They're so cute. So without further ado, let's get these guys out. We have a couple of tiny little baby green tree snakes, and they're absolutely adorable.
They're so cute.
They've got quite an interesting story before I get them out. Their mum was actually found in a retaining wall, of all places, and we rescued her and found that she was gravid, full of eggs. She had a very, very big abdominal region. And so we actually took her into the wildlife hospital and we had to induce her and actually remove those eggs, and they all came out safely. And we actually had 8 little snakes hatch out, which is incredibly exciting. Now I'm gonna really carefully get these guys out and show you, because they are too cute for words. Oh, look at that.
Oh my goodness.
How cool is that? There's a little clump in there. Now these are all tiny little baby green tree snakes.
Goodness.
Isn't that incredible?
Aren't they adorable?
Aren't they just beautiful?
And the coolest thing about green tree snakes is that, in my opinion, they're one of my favorite snakes in Australia because of how beautiful they are. Once they grow up, you get so many different color variations. They can be kind of the similar gray color that they are now. You can find some that are even blue. Now these guys spend most of their time in trees. It's actually really common to find them in your backyard here in Australia. They're quite active during the daytime, and they'll feed on everything from small frogs, even small little mammals. They are such cool snakes.
And you can see, notice here, how every now and again, hello mate, hello, they do that little tongue flick. They're little tiny tongues. Every now and again, they'll just do this little flick. And what that does, that's actually how they smell. That little forked tongue, that comes out really, really quickly. But as that comes out, they actually detect particles in the air. They drag that back into their head, and an organ called the Jacobson's organ will send that information up into their brain so that they can understand what's going on in the world around them. Have a look at that coloration though there on their head. That gorgeous yellow banding that comes back. And as Chandler said, when they get older, if they're frightened or a little bit grumpy, they'll puff themselves up, and in between those scales are this just vivid blue coloration, just gorgeous.
So what's really cool about watching these guys hunt is they try to mimic tree branches. So often when you see them looking for frogs or anything in grass or shrubbery, they'll be sitting there doing that little head wobble back and forth, trying to blend in with their surroundings. But as these guys grow, their skin doesn't grow with them, so they have to shed all that skin off. And that's a real telltale sign that there's a snake nearby, is that you actually find snake skin in your garden.
So have a look at that. You can see them all in this little branch. This is how you'd find them out in the wild, just clinging on to low-lying shrubbery most of the time. They're actually going to do you a lot of favors and keep your rat population down. So if you don't mind having a few snakes in your backyard, it's actually really, really good. Being a green tree snake, as the name suggests, they're incredible climbers, spend a lot of their time in the trees, but they have that climbing ability from their time that they're first hatched. It's amazing to see how they cling on. Look at that, it's almost like they have a prehensile tail, honestly. It really is incredible. And they can hold on to all kinds of different surfaces. In fact, even from this young age, on a hard surface you'd think that would be pretty hard to climb on, like my face. They can do it pretty easily. Watch this. So if you put them on your face, they'll actually, naturally, they know to cling on. There you go. They'll cling onto your nose like that. How cool is that? And then that's how they get around.
There you go. Look
so that just shows you that innate behavior to climb, even from a really, really young age.
Hence why they're called a green tree snake.
He thinks my head's a tree at the moment.
He's like, this is a funny looking tree.
Isn't that incredible? Such amazing climbers. So cool. Oh man, I could just spend all day with these little guys. But we've given them a very good checkup.
Yes.
They've gotten a bit of time to get out and have a little run around. And I think it's actually just about time for them to be released. In fact, tomorrow, these guys are going to be heading back out into the wild. So out in the wild, naturally, they don't get any kind of care from mum. Once those babies hatch, they've got to fend for themselves. They've got no help from their parents. And so here at the Wildlife Hospital, there's only so much we can really do. We can make sure they all hatch out well and that they're all looking safe and healthy, but then it's up to them to make their way in the world. But luckily, they're incredible at camouflaging. They can catch their own food at this young age. They can climb way better than I can. And so they're going to do a great job at staying out of the way of predators. Unfortunately, everything wants to eat them, but they've got the best head start at life. It's so nice to meet you all.
You guys are so cute. Hope you have a great stay at the Australia Zoo Wildlife Hospital.
Well, there you go. There's a little checkup with some adorable baby green tree snakes. See you next time, guys.
See you guys.
Have a look at these little beauties. Woohoo!
Click on the links to see more videos just like this, and don't forget to subscribe.